Welcome back to another episode of Mikey Reyes, Real Kung Fu KC. Today we're going to journey up north to North Kansas City to meet a great friend. Come on guys, let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Mikey Reyes, Real Kung Fu KC. I'm sitting here with a really good friend of mine, Gilbert Macapagal. We've known each other for a long time, and he's flourished as a human and has started this amazing company, Longboards, Bowls and Wraps, and it is phenomenal.
Wraps and Bowls.
Thank you. Yeah, he definitely knows better than I. But you know, we've got good stuff, and so let's talk about some of it. Gilbert, why don't you just tell people a little bit about yourself and how maybe you met us and stuff like that.
I met Mikey when I went to North Kansas City High School, and they were like going to an East Gate dance with my brother. Mikey was all decked up.
I think I was just pimped out. But, you know.
Yeah. You know, Jeans West, you know, like Metro North Mall style.
That's really getting old school. I'm not sure if somebody
Dude, that was the hangout. That was the Facebook of the days, man.
Yeah, it's the Facebook days. Of the days. Yeah,
that's if you want to find everybody, they're at the Metro North Mall or any mall. And, you know, and well, I got introduced with Rudy first.
Yeah.
You know, because he was like a freshman in high school. The story was I was playing my yo-yo because I just immigrated from Philippines. And I was doing some little tricks, but I'm not really good at yo-yo. And Rudy was fascinated. He was like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden, you know, I showed him a couple of tricks. And then the next, like what? Day or next, he had a yo-yo with him.
Yeah,
was like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah, he's training.
Yeah. And then that's my introduction with the Reyes brothers, you know, Caesar, and we start going to that, dance place on Broadway, Stars on Broadway.
Oh, yeah. That's other local Kansas City treasure from way back in the day.
Again, that's probably our Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. You know? Like, definitely on the dance floor. Oh, yeah. Let me message you.
Yeah.
You know, getting down. I love it.
I mean, Caesar was just like, you know, this hot mugs.
Yeah. She's always had style and flair.
He had fucking girls all over him and shit. This curly haired, you know, light Mexican, you know. And,
but I just have to say, man, I love Gilbert so much. He was such an amazing person, but it's also lined into this. He was an amazing cook. He cooked at all. There was a place in Kansas City called Fedora's. Went there, phenomenal. Later on in life, he wanted to start a place, an amazing little Filipino restaurant. Loved working there. Dude's amazing. I know he don't want me to. All right.
But yeah, remember when my first venture on business was like a Manila Cafe on Gillam Road?
Oh yeah, I love that place.
You discovered me working there, and I'm like, dude, I will work for you. Like, if you cook me that pochero, man. Yeah, his favorite dish.
Still never found anybody who could make it. Anybody out there can make it other than Gilbert.
Well, I did that dish because after the Kung Fu class, and I fed you guys.
Oh, yeah. It was so delicious.
Yeah.
We're all vegetarians at the time. We ate a little super clean.
Yeah.
Dish was delicious.
I wasn't. I was eating meat. And, you know, yeah, the Kung Fu class. I mean, and then we start hanging out there at the Crossroad Warehouse.
Yes, before it was the Crossroads, we had a warehouse at about like 18th and Baltimore-ish. Mm-hmm. And it was about 5,000 square feet. We lived in it, we trained in it. It was phenomenal. I talked about it in the story with Xavier about how awesome this place was.
It was hot, it was sweaty, it was danky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a true gym of thrashing and training.
Dude, it should have been called like a black mold kung fu. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because we're all dying with black mold. We was like, oh, okay, two more, three more.
Oh, yeah.
Hell no.
We got killed at that place.
Yeah. I quit after 2 weeks. It was like, you know, just imagine, like, you just work, 10 hours, you know, after a Kung Fu class, and, you know, I mean, your body's not, you know.
Yeah, luckily, I don't know, maybe it's just fear and love for my brothers, even doing construction. I had no problems after a 10, 12-hour day of doing a hard demo to go out and just thrash for another 4 or 5 hours. But I think we're actually just wired.
Is it the yoga? And, you know,
Man, I don't know.
I mean,
like I said, I'm 49 years old. I could still do the splits, kick over my head, outwork most young people. I've got a lot of drive, and I really, it's based on Kung Fu. You know, I work out every morning and stretch every morning. I do breath work every morning. I do my Qigong every morning.
You shake that leg like a mofo.
I know, man. You're fidgeting, dude.
It's hard. It's hard. I told you I'm not normal at this shit either, bro. Part of me is trying to be good, but part of me is a little hard.
Yeah.
This is all just, like, to me, this is all just Kung Fu as well. You know, like, I don't know any of this. It was fearful for me. When I first started this, ask tomorrow, dude, I would cry. I had anxiety. I would freak out because I'm like, who am I? I got to do all this stuff. I don't know what to do. I don't live on a camera. I'm not a thespian. You know, like, I'm not nothing about this.
It's a new world, I mean.
But I do love people.
Yeah.
And I love hanging out with people. And I think I'm weird and oddly blessed that I bet you I have at least 30 friends that I've known for over 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
And that's not a normal thing.
Well, you've been around the city all the time.
Yeah.
Broadway Cafe. You guys are doing your Kung Fu there. And then Nelson Atkins.
Yeah. We used to just ride around. Remember, we had our pedal bikes, the Tai Chi swords in the back. We'd be riding, just pull over, pull out our Tai Chi swords, and just start doing push-ups.
Yeah.
You remember by Broadway Cafe, that one little corner, Rudy used to hang off the bottom, and we'd do our pull-ups there, and our dips, and our push-ups in this little corner.
Yeah.
You know, just...
You guys don't have no boundaries, dude. I mean, like, you guys would be lining up somewhere, like a fucking Starbucks, and it's like, oh, I need to stretch. I'm like, what the hell?
Brother, I was at the post office. I was at the post office, and I'm in this long line, and I start stretching, and I'm being good. I'm in line. I'm not trying to swing my arms. I'm staying in line. And this old dude walks by me, and he's like, what you doing, boy? I'm like, oh, I'm stretching. He goes, why are you stretching in line? I'm like, well, you know, a lot of people say they don't have time in their life to stretch and do things. I obviously have to sit here and wait for me to get up to there, so I might as well stretch. He goes, you can't teach old dogs new tricks. And I'm like, well, that's like saying you can't have an uneducated kid from the streets go to college. I'm like, that's a ridiculous concept. We always could work to get it better. And he's like, nah. He like got all grouchy and walked away. And then as I'm leaving, I pass him. And he looks at me and he goes, well, you taught this old dog a new trick. I'm like, awesome, my friend. I'm going to start stretching. I said, good. You know, I walked out, you know. But I've also been kicked out of Social Security office and other places for stretching in front of my seat as well. People come up to me, they're like, sir, you're making people feel uncomfortable with all the stretching you're doing. I'm like, man, you guys are making me feel uncomfortable just sitting there on your phones the whole time. And they're like, well, that don't matter, sir. You gotta leave. I'm like, all right. Kicked out of Social Security office for stretching.
Oh my God.
In front of my seat.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm sorry, man, but I can see that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like you said though, people always like, where's the time? Where's the time? Like when I play video games, if I play video games, I don't have a system currently, but when I used to play video games, I put my foot up on my dresser while I'm playing, and then every 10 minutes or once I'd say, okay, I made an achievement that I need in the game, I would stop and do some squat presses, or I would do some pull-ups, or I would do something like that. So my brain was always staying active even while I'm relaxing. Like that just, I'm built that way.
I think you guys are like over caffeinated. You know what I mean?
Tomorrow, one time we went to, it's another funny story. One time we went to go get juice. Tomorrow needed a juice or coffee or something like that. We were at a place right by the old Stars on Broadway. Yeah. And I'm outside and there's a big telephone pole. And I'm like, ga, wah, 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 wah. Just hitting this pole, the pole's shaking all about. And this woman, she goes like, oh my God, something crazy's going on. That guy's going crazy. Tamara looks over and she sees me slapping and hitting this pole. And she just turns around back to the woman. She goes, oh, that's my husband. He's got Kung Fu Tourette. Because that's what it's like, you know, like anywhere and everywhere I go, I'm practicing footwork. I'm practicing placement. But realistically, if you're not doing it all the time, how do you get better? You know, unless it's your job.
Yeah. But, you know, if I was lining up at let's say, at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I will be doing the silent one, you know, like the
Yeah.
qigong, like, you know.
Yeah. People would be like, "What the hell is that guy breathing like
Oh,
that
have you
for?"
seen that Chinese guy on Instagram? He breathes it like he's not breathing and shit, you know. Like,
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I have a little sinus right now
Yeah.
that you can hear it, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think of all of that. I mean, at all times, I'm constantly training, but
Yeah.
as we get older, I feel that if I don't consistently physically move and do things,
It's a
then I get a
habit.
little bit more broken. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
It
like
keeps me
instilled to
happy.
you. It's like if it's your DNA, it's your DNA.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know.
Well, everybody, in my opinion, can train Kung Fu in their own method. You know, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that you're physically training. If you're setting for a betterment, you're bettering your life physically, if you're bettering your life financially, bettering your life in any way that gives you a slightly solid ground. So then you could then pivot and then work on another element of betterment.
That's
You
what
know,
I'm saying.
that's
I
Kung
mean,
Fu.
the philosophy of martial arts, a lot of things, sometimes you can apply a lot in your general life.
Yeah.
You know,
I say all of our
the
lives.
discipline, the culture I've learned about Kansas City, you know, like,
Oh yeah, when we were young, right?
Yeah.
In Newtown area.
remember Lucille's?
Well, how could I forget that? That was my first real
Bro,
job.
it was like a 90210 setup. You know what I mean? Everybody in their own personal booth and shit.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
like,
it
you
was
know,
great. I
after-
love that place.
After club, everybody just gathered there.
Brother, I cannot tell you, in the 90s, as a busser, I made as much money as some people make today
Yeah.
with normal jobs.
I remember that bus boy there, that named Brian. He's
Oh,
like,
Brian Reed.
yeah,
I just talked
he
to him
looked
the
like
other
a
day.
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, I just
you
talked to
know,
him the other
like,
day.
You know, it's just like, oh, bro, he
Had
was
his
like
big old blonde brick fade.
white chocolate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a totally white chocolate, bro. It was fucking funny. But he's a good guy. He was,
Yeah, he's
like,
very
he
funny.
was so awesome, you know. He
Yeah,
always talked
I
about-
lived on Brian Reed's couch.
Yeah.
Because for many years, I didn't actually have an apartment or my name on any lease. I
Yeah.
worked somewhere and I couch surfed
Yeah.
amongst friends' couches
Yeah.
while I was training Kung Fu with my little cat Jinx.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dog at the time. I had a little cat Jinx. He traveled everywhere with me at all the houses I stayed. And, yeah, B. Reed was a character through and through.
Yeah,
Later on, worked door work with the man.
yeah.
A lot of characters in Kansas City that we
Oh,
could talk about.
man.
That's for
Dude,
sure.
Chubby's.
Chubby's. That place was
Chubby's
crazy.
on Broadway.
Talking about a place where I had to use Kung Fu. That place was nuts.
But just imagine though, when we're young, everybody mixed in there. And
Oh,
no
yeah.
colors, no borders, no
Oh, yeah.
nothing, man.
Oh, it's
Everybody's like,
wild.
you know, I mean, it's just like all different kind of, like United Colors of fucking Benetton.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Like,
the same thing nowadays. It's not as many labels. Everybody was just in there like, what do they call like those soups that are just like all the leftovers just thrown up in there. All of this crazy folks.
But hopefully that kind of thing will just come back again in 360. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that harmony that.
A real
people-
form of love. Nice. Yeah, I agree.
You
I love him, but it hurts now. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I could sit forever. It didn't bug me. But nowadays, I'm like,
Like downtown was so
desolate and dead.
yeah. I remember Rudy used to live in this auto shop above. He had
Yeah.
a little loft, and then he had a band
Yeah,
named
Venus Auto.
after
Yeah.
Venus Auto. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And yeah, so I love it. I used to go up there and listen to them jam out.
yeah,
All
I
that
remember
stuff with
that.
Greg, Beezer from 1995. And
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Phil,
love it.
Remember Phil?
Oh, yeah.
And all his friends.
we used to love that place. I loved going out and
Oh yeah.
watching Rudy kick it after Rudy play all these shows. I was just a young kid, but Rudy'd be like, my brother's my roadie. He's got to come in with me. And they'd be like, oh, okay. They didn't give no crap back then. They just
Yeah.
let me in. Rudy's got to meet some really amazing
Not
people.
bad, man. He was
Yeah.
like Hollywood, dude. Hollywood
Yeah.
Rudy, dude.
Yeah, well, everybody knew that he was going to eventually be somebody like this. So I'm happy for him. And he's doing amazing stuff for a lot of amazing people. He has a not-for-profit called
Yeah.
Fourth Blue.
Yeah.
And they work on cleaning the ocean and doing lots of amazing things for this world. So he does a lot for the veteran community. Many praises out to my brother Rudy Reyes. He
Did
does-
remember when
does
he
a lot.
was did the tryout for American Gladiator and Birkenstock and shit?
No, I forgot. I remember about
Remember
that. I forgot
He
about the
was-
Birkenstock.
Yeah, he was wearing Birkenstock trying out for American Gladiator. Dude. He was like, like this hippie warrior. What's that,
Well,
man?
back in the day before
He'll
they went
beat
to
you
the
up
military.
and go, namaste.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, of course I do. I know.
You're like, he'll give you the final death blow.
Yeah, he was a good teacher, a good brother. You know, he for real had to always work hard around Rudy to be the best.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be the next Jason Bourne, bro.
Yeah. We still got time. We still got time.
I know,
You know?
man. Look at Liam,
Yeah,
taking and shit, Rudy will be like, I will find you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can be that badass dad,
Oh yeah.
ex-CIA.
But you know, honestly, I really, if I could, I would love to see Rudy switch over to do comedy. He is freaking hilarious.
Comedy?
When Rudy is not serious, he is off the charts funny.
I think the best role is like, what did Brad Pitt in True Romance?
Yeah.
He was like the stoner,
I don't know
like
if Rudy
totally
could ever play the
opposite.
stoner.
The total opposite, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a little challenge, though.
Yeah. Well, we all have challenges in life. That's the good thing about life.
Yeah, this is how you overcome. That's how you finish.
Yeah. That's, funny. One of the things when you're talking about martial arts, one of the things that I really look at martial arts as really being about problem solving. When you talk about how it's applied to all different levels of growth, that's what I like. It's the idea that it should be about problem solving.
Yeah.
Even when you're squaring up with somebody, you're looking at this problem and you're working it out in your head, in fraction of a second to take care of it. Sometimes when you have other problems in life, that's what you're supposed to do. That's why it can be applied, I think, to all parts of life. Is because if you look at it through a problem-solving lens, you're always able to figure out things in life to hopefully further your existence level of life, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, some people don't even know they're doing Kung Fu without knowing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
100%.
they call it the Miyagi Effect.
I've never heard of that,
You
but I
never
like
heard of
it.
it?
No,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, but I agree. That's what I'm saying. What you do,
It's
what
the
other people do, people that are living and being true, they're working on and benefit. They are doing that Miyagi Effect.
Mhm.
They are doing that. I love that. I've never heard of it.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, just example. I grew up in Philippines, right? The street has no rules there. You
Sure.
know what I'm saying? So you dodge like little scooter here, little
yeah.
three-wheeler here, and a little fucking taxi here.
Yeah.
But you get to America, you didn't know that, you have that kind of reflexes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
Things
You're
like,
like,
shit.
yeah.
It's called the Asian reflex.
Yeah. Well, there's a fable about this young boy who got taken by the monks up in the mountains, and his brothers and sisters were waiting for him to come back. And after like 10 years, he came back, and they were like, "Oh, show us your kung fu, show us kung fu. I know you know kung fu." He's like, "I don't know any kung fu." They're like, "Show us your kung fu, show us your kung fu." He's like, "I don't know kung fu. I did laundry in the river." And they're like, "Show us your kung fu, show us your kung fu." And he's like, I just do laundry." And they're like, they kept nagging him. Eventually, he slapped the table and he broke the table in half. And they're like, "See, I knew you knew kung fu." But it was that exact effect. He'd been slapping his hands against water and ringing and doing things like this.
Yeah.
He built up an amazing energy that he wasn't aware of.
That's the same thing as problem solving in life.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you run a business, you always expect that happening. It's always going to be, there's like, hey, something will happen today. It's how you deal with it.
Of course.
But the best blessing is when you don't have to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, namaste.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm down with all that.
But it's in life. But when you get older, you can try to either transfer that knowledge,
Yeah.
to spread it, and it's the same thing in business. If you have somebody like you can mentor and
Yeah,
take over for
100%.
you, because
Sure.
you just have to admit, in your age,
Yeah.
have you seen someone that's freaking kung fu master on movies? They just sit down like, ha ha, do the mental style, ha 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 ha, ha. Like tell the students to do shit.
Yeah.
Same thing with me.
Yeah, I hear you.
My bones are not the same,
Yeah.
anymore. I can do, rapping
Yeah.
and making burritos every day. So it's just, you just have to keep giving that knowledge to people. If they want to accept it, it's up to them.
100%. Oh, yeah.
So-
No, I love that. That's beautiful lessons to end with, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you all. I love you. Please come back for another episode of Mikey Reyes, Real Kung Fu KC. Thanks, Gilbert. I love you, brother.
Much love, my man.
Definitely.